I'm Keshia Chanté, singer, entrepreneur, and NACO Ambassador. I'm interviewing inspiring entrepreneurs who are part of NACO's Angels and Dreams Fellowship Program. Join me as we dive into their incredible journeys. First of all, when I think of glow sticks, I think of concerts, festivals, and then I always have this concern, like, is this getting recycled? And I know it's not.
No, it is not.
So you're solving tons of problems way beyond concerts and festivals, but something even more important. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, and you know what? Festivals is where I got started.
Yeah.
I was volunteering at a music festival. My job was on the garbage team, and I picked up hundreds and hundreds of glow sticks. And at that point, I was studying microbiology. I was already obsessed with bioluminescence, and I was like, can we change this?
Yeah.
And then I started looking into the industry, found out glow sticks were invented by the military, that these chemicals are used in biomedical assays, and it's a huge industry.
Wow.
And it's like, this is something I might actually be able to do, with my life and do for the planet. Because I think with sustainability, it can be really overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that is needs to be done. So it's so nice to have one focus. Yeah. And now we've developed a long-lasting bioluminescent formula that can replace the toxic chemicals. Wow. We're working with an amazing company who's developed ocean biodegradable plastic alternative.
Wow.
So that's what we're using. So if it ends up on the ground or in the ocean, it'll disappear after a few months. So there's some amazing things happening in the sustainability and material space right now.
Yeah, and the sustainability space is interesting because it is really strict. It's a strict space. Yeah. And it almost feels like you're going against a brick wall, constantly trying to break these things down. And then you see your competitors not following any of the rules.
Nope.
And moving a lot faster.
Yeah.
What have you been the biggest setback for you in your experience doing this?
I think, at the beginning, it was convincing investors that this was a big enough market and a big enough problem. So I really had to learn how to tell the story. I did so many customer conversations. So I went in with this person buys this many, here's this commercial fisherman in Australia, their company buys 8 million of these a year. That can be one of our customers. Here's the US government. Here's how much they're spending just on glow sticks for the military every year. Here's someone from the Navy SEALs, who personally goes through cartons of these a week at their work. Yeah. So having those stories, it wasn't coming from me anymore. And bringing that all together, I think, was critical.
And then what would you say has been a huge win throughout this process?
I think there's two.
Yeah.
I think the first one is starting to work with a real team, starting to work with a really fantastic co-founder. At the beginning, doing everything on your own is awful. And you don't even realize how alone you are in it until you start working with people and that have your back and complement your skills and, shore up your weaknesses. And it's just been transformative. So I think that's something I'm the most proud of. Because working with people can be hard.
It can be, yeah.
And I really take it seriously. I hope, that in my company, it's a place people want to come to work and feel like their ideas are heard and they're valued. And, I'm not always perfect, but that's something I'm really proud of is the people I work with. And then the second one is just actually doing the thing. When I started, I had a bioluminescent system that lasted about 10 minutes. It was not very impressive.
That's okay.
But I was like, okay, you know what? Fundamentals are there.
Yeah.
I can make a prototype. I can bring this around and tell people if we invest in this, here's how we'll do it. Here's how we'll get it to actually work for the industries that would use it. Yeah. And now we've done it. We have a bioluminescent system that generates light for brightly for 6 hours. Wow. It continues for over 24 hours.
Wow.
If you have it in a really dark room, you can see it after 48 hours.
Very cool.
So we've just completely transformed what's possible with bioluminescence. And that's why we're working on scaling up right now and launching our first product.
Who was the first person you told this idea to?
I think it was my mom.
Did she think you were crazy?
Oh yeah, I thought I was crazy.
Yes, I'm dying to know that.
I thought I was crazy for the first couple years, because at that point I was a student in university. I was talking about it with some of my peers, and they're like, "Ah." You know, I think it's common for a lot of people if they have a big idea in the early days to not get support.
Yeah.
I think it's a very common story, and you kind of have to understand as a person, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of entrepreneurs or creative people in any field, that can be the fuel that kind of spurs you to take yourself really seriously, and that strength and identity becomes the core of, you know, where you lead from in the future. So
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a necessary path. And yeah, now I get a lot of support, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't always there, you know.
Well, I feel like if people think your idea is crazy, you're on the right track.
Hopefully.
Right? It shouldn't be, your
Yeah.
ideas shouldn't be something that everyone's like, yeah, of course, because that means it's been done before.
So true.
And how are we pushing the needle forward? Like, it means you're just ahead of your time.
I like
That's
that.
good.
Yeah.
Yes. Like,
yeah.
you don't get it now, you will get it soon.
Definitely.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm
Give me a
curious to
few
know,
years.
give me a few years. Yeah, I mean, they're just late. They're late to the party. How did it feel when you made that first prototype and it died out in 10 minutes? Like, what were you feeling when it actually happened? Were you like, did you feel like you failed and it was the end? Or were you like, cool, I'm going to keep
No, I was
pushing?
like, this is the beginning.
Yes.
It was because I had
Yeah.
pitched at my university with absolutely nothing. And they were like, you know, this sounds interesting. Like, come back when you have a prototype. And it took me 2 years. I took time off school. I worked for a small business. That's where I learned so much business. I'm so grateful for that experience. I saved up. I went on a trip around the world to learn about bioluminescence. I talked to all these researchers. I studied at a bioluminescent bay. And afterwards, I came back with this prototype. And yeah, it only lasted for 10 minutes, but I was like, that was the beginning. And I went back and I pitched at the university again, and I held it up, you know, and people clapped. It was amazing. And yeah, that really felt like the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have been some of the high and lows of your Dragon's Den experience?
Ooh. Oh, I think one of the lowest, I fainted for the first time in my
You
adult
fainted?
life.
When? Was this on camera?
No, thank goodness. It was the day that I flew to Toronto.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've really struggled with migraine headaches, and now there's this amazing new medication that's available for it. So I'm on that, but it's an injection. And I done it before, no worries, everything was fine, but I think I was so stressed getting everything ready before going to Dragon's Den. And so when I was giving myself the shot, it was just too much for my body, and all of a sudden I wake up on the floor. And my sister was there with me, thank goodness. But yeah, that was challenging.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I was like, this is going to be a story I tell for the rest of my life.
Yes, it's a good story. I fainted before I went on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. So that was a low. Wouldn't
But everything
encourage anyone to
probably
do
feels
that.
like an up after that.
Oh, exactly. I was like, you know what? I fainted. Like, what could go worse than this? Like, and it was the day before I went on, you know, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to faint there, you know.
Hopefully. Thank God you didn't.
Yeah, thank goodness that didn't happen again. I think the high was just walking into the den and seeing these amazing entrepreneurs that I look up to that have been so successful, and just knowing I had a chance to tell them, you know, about my business and about what I had learned. Yeah, it was surreal. It feels like a bit of a fever dream now, looking back on it, like, did that really happen?
What does scaling look like for you? Like, what is the ultimate goal?
The ultimate goal for our company is to shut down the chemiluminescence industry and to replace it with bioluminescence. These chemicals are doing awful things to our planet. There have been multiple papers, consumer reports calling out this industry, but the products that they make are very useful. So nothing can change until there's something better. And so that's what we're now scaling towards. Like, we have something better. Every single customer I've spoken with is like, if you can get this to me for the same price, of course I would buy this. Like, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is a no-brainer, you know? And so right now in Vancouver, we have our own lab. We're starting to scale the production of our protein. And yeah, that's what the next couple of years is going to be looking like, is getting it to a large enough scale that we can just mass produce it. Yeah.
How far are we apart in terms of the toxic version and your version in pricing? Are we far apart still, or where are we with that?
Yeah, we've So right now, I mean, we're going to be launching a Kickstarter.
Okay.
It's going to be a little more expensive than the standard glow sticks, and that's for so many reasons. Number one is, we are smaller, and this is a very entrenched industry. But we've done the modeling, and when we're at, a kind of large enough scale, we will be able to match price.
Okay.
And so that's what we're kind of running towards as fast as we can.
Awesome. Thank you, Paige.
Yeah, thank you, Keshia.
You
It's so cool.
faint.
It's so great to meet you.
It's so great to meet you.
This is so cool.
This has changed I want to see glow sticks at more sports games.
Yes.
I love them at concerts. I love them at music festivals. They're just fun.
They're so fun.
They're fun, and they raise the production value of a lot of things. Obviously, we're using them for deep diving and military purposes. There's big purposes, but for the fun reasons.
Oh yeah.
I love a glow stick.
That's actually one of my kind of, company dreams is I've always just had this in my mind. I think I will faint when this happens. I'm just imagining being on, some kind of stage and, there's music going on and I'll just be able to peek out and see the whole stadium, full of our glow stick alternative.
Yeah.
And I think then it'll just feel like we're really having the impact, that has really driven me this whole time. Be like, wow, we're actually changing things.
Yeah.
I think it will come true one day.
It totally will. It's time to sponsor Boots and Hearts.
Yeah.
I want to see my Boots and Hearts. You can sponsor that.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
Let's, those things, guys. There's things. Thank you so much, Paige.
Thank you. Thank you. Seriously.